Good morning, Buck fans. It's AJ Turn up here with the Bucks Report pregame show. We're going to be discussing the Bucks. They played the Texans in 2 hours, so let's get ready. And we got some special guests in a moment, so let's do this. What's good, Buck fans? Good morning. It's AJ Turn up here with the Bucks pregame show on Bucks Report. And as always check us out on the Aftermath at 102.9 The Game, Broad Street South Radio. I hope y'all doing all right. We have officially 2 hours until kickoff. So I hope you guys set your clocks back because, you know, we've gained some more sleep. So that's good. So let's just hope that when it comes to this Bucks debacle and play for the past few weeks we have been experiencing, we don't have to go through this. When people ask what's going on with because that's what I've been feeling this for the past 3 weeks, and we don't want to feel that anymore, Buck fans. So today is the day that the Bucks should be able to get themselves together, and this is a team that we can take and that we should be able to beat. And good morning to you, Jeff Olson. Yo, ready for a good win today? I'm ready for a win too. And not only that, I don't want an ugly win because this is a team that we still can beat. Now, if you didn't check, go watch the Aftermath from last night where we discussed that with Rick Hughes from Bucks Live, which you should always check out on Tuesdays at 9. He made very good observations about the Bucks being similar to the Texans with a new offensive coordinator, a defensive coach. And we discussed that in depth, how they are similar, but yet the Bucks still have more talent, in my opinion, especially on the offensive side. So that is how I feel about it. And I do want these Bucks to take care of business. It's very plain and simple. I told you, I've been telling you guys this. The keys for the Bucks to win is on defense to play man and bring more pressure. And then on offense, get rollouts, bootlegs, play action, and crossing routes. So with further ado, I'm going to bring on we have our special guest waiting for us right now. And that is going to be our special guest, James Cannida. He's going to be coming on and joining us momentarily. So get ready for that. Always as Bucks. There he is right here. Yes, one of the OG Bucks of the great glory days of the Dungy defense. How you doing this morning, sir?
Man, AJ, what's up? Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Of course. So look, have you been feeling like I'm about to just show something right quick? Tell me when people ask you for the Bucks the past 3 weeks, this is how you've been. Tell me that's not your reaction.
Man, it's been crazy because, I mean, we talked about it when we did the pregame last week. We come up, we look at it, and I'm like, yo, what the world is going on? Why can't we play to our potential and maximize opportunities that we have? And it's a hard conversation to have because, you know, I live here in the world of these damn Dallas Cowgirls. So all I got to hear is how great they are and how, you know, my team needs some help. But, hey, I'm walking around in North Texas with my gear on. I could care less what they think. Hey, I was supposed to be down in Houston this weekend, and plans changed. So I would have been down there just talking some trash in the flesh. But nevertheless, it's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay. And I dropped some nuggets this week. If anybody needs to check it out, please go to BGSE Network on YouTube. Check out Games Computer Perspective. And I pretty much laid down the keys of what we need to do today to win this game.
I love it. Guys, please check that out. And if you can, Man, give us a little bit of that great knowledge. Give us a little sample of what you thought that the Bucks should do to get this win today.
Well, you touched on a lot of it, AJ, when you said moving, running, bootlegs, things of that nature. One, we've got to be more. Baker's got to be more mobile. Baker's got to be more mobile to utilize his legs. He's been pretty good when he's done it this season, but he's not doing it enough. So the Buccaneers, one, I said utilize Baker Mayfield's legs, get him moving. Two, sustain drives. There's too many 3-and-outs, not completing our third down efficiency. I think was like 24% last game. It was horrible. And we have got to capitalize on those drives so we can keep the defense on the sideline. And then last from my offensive point, I was like, Dave Canales has got to be more creative with his play calling.
Yes.
It's very vanilla. Even the running back, the draw with Rashad White has been working, incorporating now some QB draws, get some other things going on. But Canales is going to have to shake up that offensive, that bag of plays and pull something else out of it, because what he's doing now, tendencies are real heavy, and teams are honing in against those.
Absolutely. And I'm glad you touched on that about Canales, because you've been a part of, this isn't taking shots at guys, but you've been a part of an organization where your defense was doing everything they can, and you were on a team with great players, Brooks, Warren Sapp. How frustrating could it be for you guys to look at your offensive guys sometimes not doing their parts? Is there sometimes where you guys felt like, damn, what's going on? Why can't y'all get right?
It sucks, and especially like my first year there, learning the game, learning how to adapt into the NFL to see how the game is played, but to see the defense finally take on a mentality like, well, the goal didn't just become 3-and-out and get off the field. The goal started to become, well, we're gonna have to score at least one touchdown a game to win a game, because of we're holding teams under 20 points and losing games sometimes. It's like, what the hell? And it's kind of the same thing here. The last Thursday night game was the exception. Josh Allen looked beyond great. Throwing the ball, and one of my key defensive keys for winning this game is they got to pressure CJ Stroud.
Absolutely.
300 something yards passing. We're letting it go all over the place, not getting pressure on them, and it's just been bad to where we had 3 sacks that game, so it's not like we didn't get some pressure. But we've got to get the right pressure at the right time. When in those key moments when, back against the wall, get off the field, we've got to turn it up. But yeah, as a defensive player, when your offense isn't going out there scoring, you kind of take on the mentality like, well, you know what? It's time for us to go out there and do our job. We're going to have to score some points on the defense side of the ball to help get us this win.
Yeah, man. And shout out to you guys for doing that, but I guess, as a player, like you said, it's a job. Those are your brothers on the team. You want to uplift each other and keep things going because you don't want no animosity. See, I was different. See, I'm that coach, James, where it's like, hey, you're holding your brothers out there hostage. They doing all they can. Don't you want to do your end? Don't you want to hold your end of the bargain? And I want to get to these comments because Bucks Rays is saying a lot of good things. Yes, Bucks do need a win today. This is a win-win. You lose 4 games, you are in a tailspin. You are circling the drain of the toilet, and you are ready to get flushed. And then he says, someone fire soon. Do you think we see a QB change? Well, I don't know about all of that.
I don't think that's necessary.
Yeah, if you do that, Bucks Ray Bowles, in a way, that's basically Bowles' resignation right there, because now you're showing that you don't know what to do. Now, I want to ask you this, James. What do you think for Canales? Do you think, because my personal opinion is I think he is over analyzing, because sometimes people get in their own ways with the schemes. Do you think that he is so hell-bent on trying to master a scheme rather than mastering the players' potentials of their strengths?
I don't know what it, and honestly, I think it's a little bit of just straight up inexperience of calling games in the situation during the game, calling plays, excuse me, not the game. Also, I just think that they thought they had more in the running back spot than they did, and now the play action is not really being utilized because it's not working as much. They're trying to reinvent the wheel. That's why they ran so many draw plays, and we're starting to see movement there. Yeah. But it's hard to run play action after just running a draw, because now draw is all pass set. The defensive line gets on the field, O-line turns, kicks them out, and you find that crease. They did a couple quick screen games against Buffalo that looked really good. So honestly, I think a little bit of inexperience, but also thinking that you're going to be able to have a more dominant ground and pound than you have, but that's not the type of backs that we have right now.
I agree 100%. And I think that's another thing that the Bucks definitely need to address this offseason. You have to now. I don't give a damn what nobody say, James. I have the old school football mentality. I like my North and South runners. You know why? They're special. North and
Mm-hmm.
South runners will actually bring more value today because of the passing era, because of the way that the defenses nowadays are going to be more focused on being pass rushers and not run stoppers. And I'm sure you know, James, stopping the run is just as important as stopping the pass. You don't stop the run, you can get your defense can get shredded, and it can be a long day.
Yeah, it can be, and we got gassed a little bit up the middle of different parts of that Buffalo game that really surprised me. But at the same time, Vita didn't wasn't playing. So yeah, it happens sometimes. Is in both parts are just as vital as you said. They're both very important. You got to figure out how to get it done to make the right things happen. To get, like I said, get off.
Damn right. And look, we discussed this last night, but I want you to take a look at this too, because I don't know if you know, but the Bucks on Buccaneers.com, they put out like this intern job where you could be a coach. You know, I applied.
I,
You
I
know,
saw the
I
coaching
applied.
academy. I saw the
Yeah,
coaching academy come out. Then I think that's a great thing. Yeah, why not? If that's something you want to do and learn something about the game to do it, hey, it's awesome, man.
I'm just saying, look, I could be that one. You might say, hey, man, I talking to this brother. I remember him when he was out here saying these things, because the plays that I have, the coaching that when I've had my experience, James, scheme is beautiful, but I've always been able to pinpoint who is the weak link on the defense, who is the weak link on the offense. I'm going by what player is better than this guy, because the scheme is dead without the works, without
No, no,
somebody
no.
being
And I
able to
think,
win.
I think that's what Canales is trying to do. But I think he's having a hard time of realizing what's the weakest point spot in our offense to try to help adjust to capitalize to what that defense is giving us. I mean, this Texas team is young. We have to
Yes,
really go out and expose and exploit that today. Um,
yes,
and D'Amico Ryans, I wish you all the best for the rest of the year, just not today. I want you to do well. But
I
but yeah,
agree.
so I think once we figure out how to utilize what we have, it
It-
changes the whole dynamic of what we can and can't do. And that's what we have not been able to do that yet. And the 3 wins we have this year, it's like
mhm.
cool, we figured it out. And then it's just like, what the hell? And when I said be more creative on offense, here it is. We see that we hit Mike Evans early and often, and then we'll come back to Godwin a little bit. Then all of a sudden it's just like, okay, where are the play calls? What's happened in between to where, I
Yes.
got to wait from the first quarter to the fourth, and it shows that we can get it done on offense because these last couple of games we lost, we've had good drives later on in the game,
Yes.
making a run and a push to get back in the game. But it's just like, okay, we got to change that middle ground of our game. That's the part that's lacking. And most of the time with that, AJ,
Yeah.
it's the halftime adjustments that are missing.
Yes. Yes, you are absolutely right. And you want to know something that's crazy? Do you remember? I know you remember Raheem. One thing I could say about Raheem, the second half, he adjusted the hell out of his defense. That is something that Bowles was doing his first few years here. I just don't understand it. But we're gonna go back to Canals, because look, I'm an offensive guy. The defense, you the master of that. So I'm gonna let you rock with that. For me, defense, all I'm gonna say is jam until you get tired. But offensively, I do think you're right. Canales is not just, he's also, in my opinion, not just using what's there. Like you said, you make 3 attempts to Evans and 3 attempts to Godwin, and then you just move the hell away from it. What's wrong with you? Feed those guys, because when they
Right,
get going, everybody else is going to get going. Now,
right.
I want to show you this play. Now, as a defensive person, I'm going to give you at least 20 seconds on how to stop it. So let's take a look right here. Boom. You see the plays? Oh,
I do.
yeah. Now, how would, like, if you were a defensive minded guy, what you doing on this kind of coverage?
Well, you got to see what you got over here. You got three. You got your 14, 13, 10 out to the defensive right. Your
Mm-hmm.
will linebacker is going to have to help on that as well. The hard part is your corners getting run deep, right? We've been
Right.
playing zone, which works well for me, but we're giving too much cushion in between. No more than 10 yards. I mean, lining up at 10, taking a couple back as that cornerback if you need to. The safety is going to have to take help right here in that middle. And then it
Yes.
comes over the top. You're over outside. He's gonna have to hate that out. You know what I'm saying? Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Will is going to have to take that inside right there. But more importantly, I'm going back to the Dungy Monty Kiffin era. I'm not going to give you that much time to throw that ball. I'm beating you with these guys up front before you can get that damn thing out your hand.
Amen. Now, here's my thing. Now, this is where I think it gets tricky because this is where I go with the fundamentals. Look at the Texans' defensive backs. Now, what if I slip 10, which is Palmer, on the outside, and he runs the go route, and Godwin does the out route? I think that changes the whole thing because that corner and safety is going to have to honor that 4-3 speed.
No doubt. I think Palmer is the guy that needs to be the man to stretch the field. And then
Yes.
it helps Godwin be more creative going over because he's not afraid to run over the middle if he has to. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, not a problem at all with changing that out and seeing how, you know, they go
Yep.
and get a and play that or get off the field on that. But yeah, those are routes that, I can
This is
see
what
it.
needs to be seen. And here's the second one. Now look at this one. This is me. Oh yeah. Look, this is why they need to have me in this intern, James. I'm gonna have this offense humming. Look at this. This is what they need to be doing. Now, how would you try to stop this, James?
Again, I'm going two man to help back on the top, coming back down the side. The hardest part is this: we know Mike Evans stretching that. He gets off the ball well. You very rarely see Mike Evans get jammed or pressed. So now, if they don't get hands on him on the line to reroute him, that's putting a real hard job on that free safety trying to get back and stopping that, get back over the top. And the corner is in the bind because he can't go two, especially if it's two man. He's got to sit flats because of how the guy was running that out route right there. And then Palmer, if he can get, you want to hopefully get him just behind those linebackers to help keep that going. But that's where a good linebacker is going to get a great reroute to try to keep him from opening up because he accelerates and that speed gets going. With Iden clearing out that backside backer, and if that corner doesn't get on him, it's going to be a tough one.
I love it. See, guys, you've heard it here from a defensive-minded person, but this is what I'm saying too, and I thank you for that. So that is something that Slick and I have been coming up with because he's a defensive guy and he's a mastermind on that, and I'm the offensive man. I look at it like this too. You have to know your quarterback. I think analysis finally. I think hopefully he's understanding that Baker is not Brady, and that's no knock to Baker. He's not a precision passing guy. Give it to him where he the reason why I love Baker on rollouts is because I think it's crazy. He throws more accurate passes on the run. And also Evans and Godwin are your possession receiving guys. Palmer right now, because he's a rookie, get him in a rhythm, give it to him in stride. When that man catches it in stride, that's when he makes things happen. That's when he can get those yak. He's the yak man. Jarrett the same way. Tompkins as well. Get him in screens because of his size. They have got to utilize their strengths because, and if you're going to make him pass in the middle, it has to be 5 to 6 plays where he already knows where he's going, his first option. That's where Otten comes in. I think Otten could do damage in the middle.
AJ, you made a really good point. And one thing that I was going to say Baker Mayfield needs to do a better job of is getting rid of the ball. He holds it a little bit too long. But that's only when he's in the pocket drop back. He holds it a little bit longer than he needs to. When he is mobile and moving, the ball comes out better because, one, it allows him to get the ball right in his hand. It allows him to see where his targets are going on the move and throw it primarily how he likes to throw the ball. He likes to throw the ball on the move. That's when he gets the ball out of his hand a lot better because these last couple of games, if you watch and the passes that he misses on, the guys are open, but by the time Baker Mayfield releases the ball, it has allowed the defensive backs to recover and make up, the ground, the space that the receivers had. The thing is, we know in the NFL, you got basically 3 seconds to separate from those DBs before, they recover or something else happens if it doesn't just break totally down. And so he's got to get that ball out faster. The bootlegs, the rollouts. I think you're right. I think that does allow him to do that. And that's what I want to see more of. That's why I said we got to get Baker moving to get him mobile, run it. And then now when he does start the boot roll out, they're going to be undisciplined on the back end. They're going to want to come down, help, make a play. And then that pass is going to be open to that receiver. And it's going to help him out a lot.
I can dig it. Yes, we on the same page, Buck fans. And look, we have another special guest we're going to add to this group. Let's give a round of applause and give a Bucks welcome for Garrett Ballard. What's up?
How's it going, y'all?
We're going, man. We just in here just discussing what the Bucks need to do for this offense. Canals just got to listen to me more often, and then Canals should listen to James. Bowles and them should listen to James. So, what is your take on this game? Like, give me how you feeling about it, and what do you think needs to happen?
Yeah, I mean, I'm feeling just general thoughts. I'm feeling way better about this after watching the Texans against the Panthers last weekend. That was not a very good game from their standpoint. I really like their defensive line, but the strength of it's on the outside with their edge rushers. We got some pretty good tackles this year. And then from what I think the Bucks are going to need to do, I think at this point, I honestly think it just falls on Baker Mayfield. The receivers are getting open. He's getting time in the pocket, and he's just not really making the throws. So he needs to take a step up and start making throws.
Mm-hmm. Now, we just discussed that. I said this. Garrett, I said 5 to 6 plays. If he's going to be in the pocket, he should already know the first option, whether it's odding up the middle, whether it's whether it's Evans in the middle, which I think he should go to the slot. You don't want to give him too much time to think because James made a great point. He hesitates a lot, but that's also due to his height. And James, I'll say this. If the DBs don't recover, the D linemen are able to put a hand up, and that's when he gets hit. And because that Detroit game is a perfect example. You all remember, everybody remembers when Evans had the most open pass of his career, but because of his height and hesitance, the guy was able to bat it, and that's how interception happened. So the first priority that Canals needs to understand, if Baker's going to be in the pocket, he needs to immediately get rid of it the way Brady used to do last year. Do you all agree on that, James?
Yeah, definitely. And that's like I said, like we just talked about. If he's going to be in that pocket, he has got to speed his release up because he's been holding the ball way too long. And the thing is, it sounds easy, it sounds funny and simple. You might have to start incorporating a little bit of a pump fake. So once the D lineman put them hands up and they come back down, then it opens up that window a lot. Because you're right. And as a D line, we're always taught once that quarterback takes that guide hand off that ball, our paws go up in the air. It's just a natural reaction. Like we drill it to death. We running, get up to the quarterback. As soon as they take their hand off, you put their hand up to get ready to knock that ball down. And against a shorter quarterback, it's a lot easier to do. And unless you're creative to try to get like Mahomes and bring that thing out sidearm, you're not gonna get it in those windows at all.
I agree. And that's the offensive side. That's what we are all expecting. We want to see creativity, adjustment. Now, Garrett, do you feel, because this is the Texans and their defense is up and down, we know their rush defense is good, but their pass defense shouldn't this be the game that Canales starts to open that playbook up and we see things we have not seen?
Theoretically, it should be. Words are very much easier than actions, however. So theoretically, it should be, but I'll hold out until I see it just because we've heard it time and time again that they want to get this run game going and they think they can, despite ample evidence to prove otherwise. So until they actually start throwing the ball and moving it that way, I'm going to assume that they're going to run it.
Okay, I got you. Now that's very I can understand. I think Canales, instead of just talking about it, just be about it. There's no reason to be scared. This is your first year. No one's going to blame you. Even if you call plays that look ridiculous, go for it. Make it happen. But I want to get on the defensive side now. Now, Garrett, what do you want to see on this defense today because of the matchup?
Yeah, I mean, it's been this has been my thing from the defense for a while. I really want to see some man coverage because that's how these corners win. I mean, just a couple of days ago, Jamar Chase was saying that the best corner he's faced in the NFL was Carlton Davis. And in that game, he was playing man coverage. I get that Todd Bowles is a big zone, big cover 3 guy, but man is where the difference makes defense a lot of the time. You talk about these island corners, and the Bucs seem to have 2 of them. But they put them in zone. Their zone's easier to. I get you have to be pretty good to play man coverage, but you don't got to play it all the time. Just let me see some of it. I want to see some man coverage because I think the turnovers are going to come plenty if you put them in man.
I can respect that. How about you, James?
I'm right there with Garrett. Go ahead, mix it up. And the thing is, you don't have to play it all the time. You don't even have to play straight man. You can call man zone. So if you need to lock up your corners and combo with your safeties back behind, you can either do it. You can bracket, you can umbrella. There's a bunch of different things you can call in combination to that. But the most important thing for me is, and I know I keep saying this, and I know I probably sound like a skipping record. I need to see more effective and better pass rush. You got a young quarterback that has only thrown one interception this year. We need to put the fire to his behind today and make him uncomfortable in the pocket to give us the ball back. I mean, no knock on CJ Stroud. Good to see how he's playing. He's adapting pretty well. They're making it real simple for him in their offense to utilize his strengths. But we have got to make him uncomfortable, and that starts with the guys up front.
Amen. And one thing I will say to both of you about this, we don't have premier pass rushers, so this is why I am hell bent on playing like man coverage, because that can help your pass rush. I think we have the front four right now where if our secondary helps out, we can get more pressure, we can get more sacks. That's what will help, because at this moment, Vita, and Rick said this last night, Rick on Bucks Live, he said Vita is one of the key figures to the game. And I agree. And Slick said this: we should do a 4-man on the line, get Canty in the 3 technique, and have him
beat in the 1. Oh,
yep.
Hell yeah, that would be. Oh, I start salivating if I saw that.
Exactly. And CJ Stroud would not be ready for that. But here's one thing I want to ask you both. This is something that if you really want to be creative with this defense, I'm moving the linebackers around. I'm putting Devin White on the edge. I'm putting Yaya in the middle, because this is what I would do. I would have the first play, I would make them think that Devin is going to be the blitzer, but it's actually going to be Yaya, and then Devin jumps out in coverage. Now, Jay, how would you feel that would work? Do you think that would confuse the hell out of CJ Stroud?
It might confuse him, but I don't see Yaya being that middle presence for when they don't blitz and has to get back just, to cover, in that linebacker position. And then if you're putting him in and every time he's coming in, he's lining up in the middle of the blitz, it's going to be a big key point for the Texans offensive line. They'll be able to find a way to pick it up. Now, not saying that you cannot change the way you blitz from those positions that you normally line up in and get more creative that way. Do some more, zone dogs. Have a linebacker come in the defensive end drop, or a tackle come back out to take away, that short middle. There's different ways they're going to do different things. And if, again, like you said, if you do man and press a little bit more, it lets you be a little bit more creative from the blitzing side of things, because you got your 2 best corners locked up. The only thing that can hinder that is if we don't get the pass rush, and now we need those corners to cover way, way too long, and it becomes a problem. That's the only, and maybe that's why they think they have to go zone, if they're not getting the pressure they need and they don't want to put the cornerbacks on the island guarding that receiver all day long.
Mm-hmm. I can dig it. How about you? Do you feel the same, Garrett?
Yeah, they're going to have to scheme some pressures up because it's been pretty bad from the exterior defensive line. All the pressures are coming from and Kalijah Cansey. Devin White is at his best when he's rushing the passer, dropping back in coverage. I always get nervous because he's not very sound there. So, letting him go downhill and work towards the quarterback and towards the offensive line is going to, I think, benefit him, benefit the pressure that this defense can generate. The only concern is where do you pick up the slack from his coverage side? If he's rushing the passer, someone's got to cover. And, just from memory, they love dropping Vita Vea back, which is something.
It's blasphemous.
I know Joe Tryon-Shank is actually not terrible when they drop him back either. So I wouldn't be opposed to seeing some rotations with JTS and Devin White, with White rushing and JTS dropping back. But, they're going to have to get creative and then make sure they can fill in that coverage that's going to be missing when Devin White goes downhill. But it can work. I know they love to get creative. Todd Bowles is one of the most unique, has one of the most unique pressure schemes in the NFL. A lot of the time he's rushing people that you don't even expect, but I expect to see a lot of unique pressures, and it just needs to get home one way or another because it hasn't been. So.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. And I only bring that up when you switch it around because at least give us something that they don't see. Because as you guys know, typically for rookies, when they're in panic mode and they see a blitz or they think a blitz is coming, their instinct either is to get the ball out quick or run.
Mm-hmm.
And let's say this, if Devin, the only reason I would want Devin on the outside because he does have the recovery speed he can make. If let's say if Stroud wants to throw it in the flats, if Devin White gets shit together, that's a pick six all the time with this speed.
Yeah.
That's the only reason because he's gonna go to your court. The rookie is gonna usually go to their check down or they're gonna take off. Now, that's why I want to see the creativity. But another factor that I think in this game that's gonna work is if you bring down the man Antoine who wins in the field in that box. And bring him down a little lower because I think he can also get interceptions as well, but also he should be designed in blitzes as well. This is why man coverage would work so well today. Do not, Bo should already know, you have a tendency, even under the Winston era, when you play zone too much, any quarterback will just, hell, Bobby Boucher could shred our defense the way we play in zone coverages.
Not Bobby Boucher.
Bobby Boucher and James Shane Falco and all the people who don't exist will shred us because Bo, your time is your weakness. The way that coaches are thinking nowadays is like, yeah, we might not always score in the red zone, but we're gonna walk away with some points. It's like in their mind, if they could always walk away with 6 to 9 points, and our offense always thinks it up. And Slick said a very good thing yesterday, guys. We are always losing typically in the fourth quarter. We're not getting usually blown out or smacked. That's why I think we got to start aggressive. The way that he gets aggressive at the end, Bowles has got to do that earlier. We are a team that's built to hold on to a lead, not come back from a lead, from behind. True. Like, do you, James? How do you feel about that? What I just said?
I totally agree, and we really have to take advantage of the Texans starting center is out. He just got placed. Jared Patterson. He just got placed on IR. So again, that's why I said that pressure is going to be key, and get there. But yeah, I totally agree. I hate it, and but when you know that your offense isn't like a Kansas City, Miami Dolphins, like a high-powered, high-scoring offense.
Yes.
On the defensive side of the ball, you know that you want to keep that really, really low because you're not built to come back. So even if we start getting you the ball back, if we fall behind early, it's still going to be harder and harder for us to come back in the game. So, yeah, I think you're totally right that they have to play to their strengths and not fall behind early, making it a comeback game in the fourth quarter. Now, against this team, and I'm not slighting Houston at all. This should be one game we can feel confident about going in and utilizing matchups to where we can come out on top. Because this is a young football team.
Thank you. Garrett, what say you?
Yeah, I mean, I totally agree. Just like James said, this is a young football team, young football coach, but a good one. We can take advantage in certain aspects. We just need to capitalize when they become available. We've seen turnovers happen and then nothing comes from it too many times. If you're going to be, just to kind of jump back to what you're saying about Winfield, just take the Buffalo game when he came downhill and jumped right in Josh Allen's face and forced a turnover. Mm-hmm. I don't know if anything came from that. That's not how you should, not how you need to approach turnovers. Like you said, when those happen, you got to be aggressive. You got to say, this isn't our opportunity to score and change this game. We need to take advantage of it. So, they like aggression in whatever way they seem or deem appropriate needs to come, whether that is passing more, whether that is just getting the running backs in space before giving them the ball more, whatever they deem it appropriate for being aggressive needs to happen early and often.
Mm-hmm. And I think that's the whole point. We just need to see. You want interceptions, it ain't coming from zone. We ain't got the Richard Shermans of the world in their prime. We got guys who are meant to beat the hell out of the damn slap box the wide receivers up on the line of scrimmage. That is what we are designed for, and it works. It will work. You just have to respect the process. I do, but I also want Bowles to take more command consistently. You can't go for it on 4th and 6 one game and then you don't even attempt it in the Buffalo game before the end of the half. So that is something that if you're James, if you were Bowles, should he or should he not be coaching like his job is on the line, like he's on the hot seat? If I were Bowles, wouldn't you feel that sense of urgency?
He should be coaching like he got fired yesterday. But at the same time, Todd Bowles' demeanor, you don't know when he feels frustrated, panicked, or not because he doesn't give that off. So from the outside looking in, it looks the same every single time, good or bad. It's the same monotone answer and it's the same style of coaching. So you never know. But decision-wise, oh, hell yeah, he definitely needs to be, coaching like, look, this is it. And the thing is, if he doesn't succeed here this, if he doesn't get it right this year, and if he doesn't succeed here, he may never get a chance to be a head coach again. So yes, for sure, he needs to be coaching like it's all or nothing right now.
Garrett?
Yeah, I mean, I completely agree. I mean, you just look at these instances that pop up over and over. You're in plus territory, out of field goal range, but you are in a place where you can comfortably give the ball away and not feel like you're going to just give them free points. And they punt. We have a good punter, so they feel like they can do it. But I would love to see a bit more aggression. You're on like a 4th and 3 at the 40-yard line. Maybe you don't feel comfortable kicking that, but they punt. I would love to see them go for it. If they get it, great. You keep driving, you can score some points. If they don't get it, you got a good defense. You can trot them back out there and feel comfortable that they're not going to just suck. I mean, one thing the defense does well is clutch up in the red zone. I mean, if all shit breaks loose, pardon the language, but you can feel comfortable that this defense is not going to give up a touchdown. They're one of the highest red zone scoring, or they prevent scoring in the red zone at one of the highest rates in the NFL. And you need to act like you are that team. You need to start taking risks on offense because you trust your defense.
Amen. And so let's get into it already. Out on the offensive side, we can't say Baker because we already know. Garrett, give me 2 guys on offense today that you want to see just turn it up, to be like, I want to see you excel.
Yeah. I'm gonna. I really believe in Trey Palmer. And it's all going to fall back on Baker, of course, but I think with his speed, that's a game changer. We've seen time and time again him go downfield and be able to make some plays, and it might not have been there, but it can happen. And if we're really going to test this young defense, send him on some deep crosses, some seams, some goes, and just chuck it to him. I mean, if you have faith in your quarterback, let him air it out. The talented receiver with a lot of speed that can really break the game open. And then I'm going to say Rachaad White, whether it's in the run game. I hope it's not mostly in the run game, but I want to see him get the ball. We saw it in the Buffalo game. They would throw him the ball and good things happened. Get him the ball in space, let him move, don't just run him between the tackles. So I guess that falls a bit more on Canales, but if Rachaad White gets the ball, I want to see him make some things happen.
That's what's up. I can dig it. How about you, James?
Well, I'm going to piggyback off of Garrett because I said Rachaad White. And it's just because I know he has the explosiveness to be that playmaker. I want to see it today. The thing is, he doesn't call his own plays. So what the draws we got, and incorporate more screens if we need to, even if it's a middle screen, whatever we need to do. I want to see Rachaad White be able to try to turn it on today. And then I said Cody Mock because he's been pushed around a little bit in the middle of that offensive line a little bit. He can get it done. We've been great at the tackle positions. We've held up there in the middle of the offensive line is when we've been a little soft sometimes. So I just want to see, Cody Mock kind of turn into that road grader that I thought he was at North Dakota State.
They're fast. I just want to say, if you go into some of the tape from Cody Mock, it's there. He just needs to put it all together. But I like that one.
Yeah, he's a rookie. He's a rookie, so I expect growing pains like all rookies. But yeah, for me, my number one guy priority is Otten. The reason why I say that, Otten needs to be that middle killer. Otten needs to be the guy who does the dirty work in the middle of the field, and the guy that, as we said, if Baker's going to be in that damn pocket, he has to be for sure to catch it, and it will make defenses have to either spread out or come in even closer. And then that's when Evans will go off, because that's the guy that I want to see go off today too. I want to see Evans today. I want Evans to have at least $150 and 2 touchdowns, one for a 40-yard bomb and one in the red zone. Now that is on Canales, but that is how he needs to be utilized. I want Evans all over the damn place, not just on one side. I want him moved around. And for today, get him in the slot a little more. But Otten, I go back to Otten because I want him to be. Remember how Brady used Gronk? That is what Otten needs. And I'm not saying that he's Gronk, but utilize him that way. So that's to be your for sure guy. That is going to be your safe to go guy, because Baker isn't Brady, and Baker is not the guy who can skim throughout the entire in the pocket. That's not who he is. He's the guy. I need that shit out in 2 seconds, maybe 1. So that is it for me. Now, James, how about this? 2 guys on defense that you need to go off today.
I want to see Kalijah Cansey get after it. He's coming back from the injury. He's getting better and better every week. You know, this is a pick that I fell in love with because I said beforehand, if he's there, take him. And I think, and I don't want to say coming out game, but I believe I want him just to have that type of game against this caliber offensive line, showing what's to come from him in the NFL, because I think he can be that kind of player over the long haul. And then Devin White, I mean, it's better, but Garrett talked about it earlier. He's great on blitzing. He's great on filling in on a run. But I need him to be a little bit more under control. You had a little bit of beef. You wanted to leave or ask for a trade. Unhappy with how things were done early on before the season started. Let's show now, show everybody why you're the guy that we picked in the first one when you came out of LSU, the guy, that linebacker that we love having around, because I think he can be that guy. He can play both ways. I think he can be the closest thing that we've had to Derrick Brooks since Derrick Brooks left here. Now, he won't be Derrick, because Derrick is that guy, but the closest thing to it. So I just need to see him under control and more decisive in his reads, and when he comes up to make that play, or getting the drops, because they did some things to us where we're out of position a lot, and it came from our middle back, 2 backers right there in that middle, and Josh Allen was able to exploit it. So Devin White's going to have to be better today.
I feel that. Garrett?
Yeah, I'm got 2 different names, luckily, but one of them is going to be Shaq Barrett. He's the veteran edge rusher. We need pressure from the edges, and he's the guy you got to turn to. He needs to lead by example here, and start generating some pressure and get this quarterback uncomfortable, get him moving, get him off his spot, just make things happen from the edge rusher position. And then the second is Ryan Neal. Ryan Neal has been he's been the breaking point of this secondary. I feel like whenever there's a big play, Ryan Neal is near it. It was his responsibility. He let someone go by him. He's not in good position, takes a bad angle, so-and-so. He just needs to be fine. I don't need exceptional play. He just needs to be okay today. And I feel like if he is okay and doesn't let anything big happen, we'll be fine. But that's what I need to see.
I'll tell you this now. I've lost all my hope in that bum. To me, he's a bum. I'm sorry. He's a bum. He's a bum, because it's not even that. It's this, James. There's that guy on the team that you just don't get it. Every time something happens, it's you, and he is yet to perfect it. Every time I see him doing this, running to somebody else, damn it! And if you get beat, at least make the commit the tackle, or be in front of him. He's always running behind somebody. So he is on my list where it's like, okay, today, if I'm Bowles, damn it, you have to, like you said, you better coach like your life depended on it. If he messes up and there's a 50-yard bomb and he catches it, I'm taking his ass out. Delaney, get in. Because sometimes that's the way that people can learn. If you excuse their mistakes all the time, that's why those type of players continue to do that. That he is literally a dreaded Chris Conte. I don't need that. Remember Chris Conte? I can't have that. Get out. Because then maybe if I take your position away, maybe. I'm not a big fan of him. But for my guys, I want Dean to play better. I know you guys saw that when Sherman talked to him and said, just go for the ball and don't worry about messing up. I'm still a little mad about the fact that he batted the ball down. I know, Jay, before you tell me, corners are just meant to bat the ball down, or that's the big priority. But damn it, you got to sometimes grab it and take it home, because when Josh threw that pass in the red zone, if he Rondé Barbers it, and I know I'm putting him, but we should all strive to be like Rondé as corners, he housing that. He has to be aggressive. So that's who I want to see more aggressive. Now, like you said, I want Kansas to eat. This is a game that I think he can have a breakout. I say that because they're gonna double Vita. They're on their fifth center, James and Garrett.
Right.
They're fifth.
Right.
No excuse. You put Kansas in that damn 3 technique, Kansas should get at least 2 to 3 sacks or 4 to 5 QB pressure, because Vita is going to automatically be doubled. If they don't, they're stupid. That's just an insult. You don't insult a man like Vita Vea one-on-one. He'll look at you and be like, what's wrong? So those are my guys. And I'm sorry that I said I'm not sorry, but Ryan Neal is that guy. Just every time, like you guys said, something happens, it's him. And I don't care if Bowles is going, well, if you knew the coverage, it wouldn't have happened this way. Nah, man. Sometimes, even when coverage breaks, you have to be able to recover and make tackles. He doesn't do that. He's always running behind somebody. Like, what the hell are you doing? And when Delaney is in there, Delaney is actually, he's average. Like, as you said, Garrett, I don't want him to be great today. I just want him to be, I just don't want to have to mention him. I want him to be like this. Okay, yeah. He was in the game. Did he mess up? No. Good. I never heard his name. He is the way that we thought we wanted Gedke to be on the right side of the line. Like, hey, I didn't hear your name, so we're good. So those are my expectations. And I think we got, because I know we getting ready to go. We got one more guest we're gonna bring on here, and then we're gonna get our final thoughts and what we think is gonna happen for the game. But Rick, I hope you're ready. We're about to bring you on right now, buddy. We got the Bucs Live Rick Hughes coming on right now.
Hey, man, how are you?
We're doing all right. We're just giving our final moments and thoughts for this game. Hopefully, the Bucs can go into Houston and get some good brisket afterwards after a victory. After we skin them bulls.
Yeah, let me say this real quick for everybody ripping on Ryan Neal. And Ryan Neal has deserved it at times, but what a lot of people don't realize while we talk about Levante David having a great year, Ryan Neal is second on his team in tackles. And sometimes people overlook the good stuff because you see the flash play where it looks bad. But there has been good as well. I'm not trying to defend Ryan Neal on everything, but I am trying to, I guess, be balanced. What was that?
I'm laughing at AJ's face right now.
Listen, man, you got to get, I understand you want to focus on just the flash plays, the bad ones, and there are plenty. You also want to understand realistically, look, I mean, the guy's, he is second on the team in tackles, only, I think, 3 behind Levante. So, I mean, he's almost the leading tackler on this team. Anyway, wanted to say that. Wanted to say, guys, this is going to be a good game. It's going to be a dogfight, I think. The key to the whole thing, from my perspective, is their number 5 center for the year, like you mentioned, AJ. Okay, if Vita Vea can't do something in this game and at least create havoc so that Kansas can eat, I mean, that's what's got to happen. I think that's the key to the whole thing. And Evans and Godwin, if you're not going to have the game, this game, you're not going to have a game. So I want to see those things happen. I want to see Vea disrupt, Kansas benefit from that, and then let's see Evans and Godwin go off. And you guys have a good one.
You too, Rick. Thanks a lot for joining us, guys. Check out him. Check out Rick and Bucs Live Tuesdays at 9. Good stuff. And we're going to be on there and talking as well. Yeah, I'm sorry, James. Ryan Neal's just look. I'd say it to his face. I'd be like, look, man.
Your face was hilarious. I'm sorry. I couldn't help it.
And look, I like that people say that, but you know this better than I do. Sometimes stats can be very misleading. Hell, the Panthers have scored more offensively than the Bucs, but what's their record?
Right. And the good thing, I always say this, you don't necessarily want someone in your secondary leading your team in tackles. Because that means there's a lot of bad things happening.
Thank you.
or even second. Yeah, so I need somebody, in that front seven. I needed to be a linebacker or a D lineman. If my secondary is up there high on numbers and tackles, they're getting thrown on a lot.
Facts. Somebody getting cussed out. Or I've said this before. Look, I'm the guy. Both of you can agree to this. Look, as a coach, I'm telling people the reality of the world. Hey, everything ain't guaranteed in this life. It's a privilege to play in this league, and it's an honor and a blessing. Am I right, James?
Oh yeah,
because you guys want to know what the average salary is for the American person in America today? At age 20 to 24, 38,000, 25, 34, 52, 35 to 44, 63. The average for the NFL is 860. Hey man, you get out of this league, you might be the Amazon guy. Do you want to be that? Checks, look, man, you playing for a job, because if we blow up like this, if we lose today and we circling, we about to get flushed. Now we're going to be in, okay, who's going to stay and who's going to go mode. That's what can happen, because let's be real. We lose this game, we don't see the Bucs winning the remainder of their season. So this is where today is the day where they have to take a stance, because if you can't beat a team on paper you are better than overall, then you don't deserve to be. We are a bad team already now. We don't want to be a doo-doo team. I don't want that. So let's give our final predictions. I'll start with you, Garrett. What is your final prediction of this game, and how do you think it's going to go?
Yeah, I do think the Bucs are going to win. I would, like I said, want to see some pressures and some vertical passing, downfield passing. I think 24-17.
Ooh.
I think there's going to be a couple turnovers, and the Texans are going to get some good field position. But I think at the end, they're going to, like I said, turnovers are going to be a byproduct of that downfield passing, that aggression, that just going to happen today. But I think the team's going to get it out, get the win. Defense is going to hold them enough.
I can dig it. Thank you for that. And how about you, Jane?
I believe the Buccaneers will win this game. I think I say that every week, but I do really believe this. I'm going more like a 21-17 kind of game. I think it's going to be, or play this. We will win the game as long as we hold the Texans under 20 points.
I can dig it.
Yep.
Same here for me. I have the Bucs winning 24-10. The reason why, I do think that Vita and Canty are going to eat today, and they're going to feast, and they're going to put this offense in a position. Because one thing, if you go back to the last Buffalo game, we was always pinned in our damn 10 at least half the time.
Oh yeah.
I think today, because of the Texans offense, they're nowhere near as good as Buffalo. We'll be in a position to where if they punt, we'll get 3 and outs quicker, and we'll be at their 40 or our own at the 50. I think that's the reason why I think this offense won't have to march down the field as much, and they can get some explosive plays. So that's why I say 24-10, because I see this defense bouncing back in a big way, and I see one turnover from Winfield to make that happen, because he's just the man wins on the field. That's the nickname we just got to give him. I've coined that. So Winfield, if you make money off that, I want in on that. But guys, thank you for joining the Bucs pregame. But Garrett, tell everybody where they can find you, and if you got anything coming up real soon.
Yeah, you can follow me on Twitter at NFL Ballard. I do my written work on Sports Talk Florida, and I'm going to start putting out some articles on Bucs Report as well. And then I also have a podcast called The Creamsicle Chronicles with JT Olson. Fridays, 9:30 p.m. Talk all things Bucs. So,
absolutely. And thank you for your time, and you have a good day today, Garrett. Okay, and always go Bucs.
Go Bucs, yes sir.
All right, James, we're gonna let you get up out of here too, so you can get ready. Tell everybody where they can find you and what else you got cooking.
You can catch me Wednesday nights on BGSE Network on YouTube. Instagram is BGSE Network, or you can always follow me on my personal stuff at JCan97 or at BigGame97 on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Sports podcast where sports and entertainment collide. It's me and my boy, the Buff Nerd. Buccaneers fans, don't hate him because he likes the Cowboys. And we bring you some pretty good content.
I can dig it. And as always, man, thank you for giving us your time today and giving us your NFL true experience and knowledge of the game. And as always, man, you take care and go Bucs.
Appreciate it. Go Bucs. Thanks for having me, AJ.
Yes, sir. So, guys, it's getting to that time. Thank you for watching the Bucks pregame, and as always, continue to watch the Bucks Aftermath. The Bucks Aftermath on 102.9 The Game, Broad Street South Radio, with AJ Turnup and my boy Coach Slick, aka the British guy who's always flying on standby. And always, you can always catch me on my own YouTube channel. It's about Bucking Time. You can also go to my Instagram page and go to my link and go to my website and get you some nice gear and turn up in style, as I always say. And as always, go Bucks.